helpful here. This is competition Wednesday for us, and we got to get back on track again. This is what this day is for, and I'm anxious to see us carry on the walkthrough that we just go through here to kind of give us the first indication. Everybody jumped right back at it, focused and tuned in. We know we got a new team to play, and new schemes, new coach, new callers, and all that stuff. And so we're learning a new team in the division, and they're challenging in a number of ways. So we're trying to get ready and get right again. You're going to see. I won't be able to give you a ton of information on some guys because we don't know yet. Guys, coming back. So we'll have a couple of guys that'll, kind of practice kind of in modified fashion this week and see what happens by the end of the week.
When you talk about Arizona and having so much newness, what do you go back and look at? Like for Gannon, is it the way the Eagles defense ran, or is it just what they've done?
No, we just look at everything that they've done with this new staff and the new coaches. The head coach has an impact on the team. They're an aggressive, physical team, running the football and featuring a running quarterback and all that. It all fits, right in with coach. And so we have 6 games, so that's a lot for us. And then we also have preseason.
You said on the radio show Monday that you probably won't get Abe Lucas back this week. Is he going to practice though this week?
No.
Well, what's the outlook with Kobe Bryant? Why he ended up going on IR for you guys?
It's just taking a while for the injury. That's all. We can't rush him, and we got to do it right. And so, he had a similar injury before. It's not the same one, and it took quite a while too. So this is the way we've gauged it to make sure that we ensure his return.
Did Jason Peters have any setback, or why he wasn't ready to play last week?
He did have a little bit of something. He had a quad that was bothering him a little bit, but it wasn't enough to call it even an injury. He just knew it, and so we just slow played. We got to wait another week.
Is he back to square one, or is he close to?
I'll find out. I don't know that yet. He's one of those guys I can't tell you. Practice squad guys, we don't have to tell you all the stuff, and that's why we didn't report last week.
Jake Curran, how's he done?
Jake is, he went through the walkthrough today, so he's moving okay for right now, for coming off an ankle in the game, So I won't know though.
With Josh Dobbs, he hasn't played a ton, and what have you been able to see out of him since he's taken over this year?
He's benefited though. I don't have anything to really compare him to, but he's benefited from his time because he looks very well equipped. He's very much in command of the game. They have a lot of offense. He's in the middle of a bunch of it with the running game that he adds to it. He's a really good scrambler. He can throw a variety of throws. He works the whole field. So I don't know what's kept him from getting his chances, but he looks like a really good football player, and he's a factor because of the way they're using him. So he's a challenge.
Going a little bit further on the factor in the run game that Dobbs can make. What is he like? What do you see in him as a runner?
Well, he's adept. He's got good speed. A little bit of a long strider. He's a tall guy, and he gets out, and guys don't catch him very quickly. He's had some good, substantial runs already. He's a threat in the running game, but he's also the threat in the passing game too, to get out and go. And the thing that I like about him, he's run really tough when he's had his chances. He's run into some guys to make extra yards, to score a touchdown earlier in the year. He took a real big hit to go do it, and he accomplished the task and got it done. And so I'm sure that those guys are rallying behind him and excited about the way he's playing.
Is Eskridge eligible to practice this week?
Not yet.
How did you feel Charles Cross played
Sunday?
He did all right. Yeah, he got back and did okay. He's up against a really good football player, and was challenged by it, but he made it through it and came out okay.
Boye Mafe has a sack in 3 straight games. I mean, what have you seen kind of his development from year 1 to what he's doing in year 2?
Yeah, he's made a big jump. I think I've said he's probably the most improved guy from year 1 to year 2. Noticeably to us, and it's basically in his awareness, his understanding of what's expected of him, how the game goes, and being able to play in all situations, run and pass. He's been a really nice player for us this year so far, and he's just getting started. So he's going to I think he's going to continue to grow and take advantage of the opportunities that he gets. He had a great opportunity in the game last week when the protection allowed him to get free, and he made a great sack on it. He's doing really well.
Pete, I know you and TK both said that the penalty in Cincinnati was different than some other penalties, no matter not hearing the whistle. But you still look at the season, he's got 5 penalties on the year, 3 for 15 yards. He's led the league in penalties among receivers the last 3 years. you guys talk about how you're working on it, it's getting better. On paper, it doesn't
Yeah,
really seem
we put all the penalties on the board, in Monday's meetings, and the guys had the most run on the top. He was up there with another guy, and we all have to acknowledge it, and recognize what our issues are, whatever they are, and it happens to be in this case, he's getting called, so he knows he's got to clean it up. And he's got to make sure we have to make sure that we're aware of how they're calling stuff, and he's a very aggressive player and very physical, and it stands out, and he draws attention because of that. So we got to be cleaner, and he knows it, and he's got to get it done.
Is there a link, you think, between his success on the field and the that feistiness, I guess, for lack of
There is. Yeah, there is. It's the competitiveness that is special in guys, and but you have to channel it properly, and that comes with experience, and sometimes it comes with the pain of it, and so. The main thing is that we're addressing it and we're on it, and he knows it, and he wants to get it right. He don't want to hurt our team, by making a penalty. So, but he's not the only one. We got some other. We got to do way better in the penalty department.
You have 3 of the next 4 games at home. Do you feel like home field advantage has as much of an impact as it's had in the past? And the reason I ask is, if you go back to 2019, in games that fans have attended, the team's 13-14, actually has a losing record. And so it's one.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in knowing that. But the reception that we had and the way we worked hand in hand with our fans last time there this year, that's what it feels like when it's really special here. And that I've never thought that they have to get us going. We have to get them going, And so it's our play that gets the fans, tuned in and part of it. But it can be a factor, I think that there's a little bit of a trend, of teams not winning as much at home. I don't know if those numbers support that, but it sure seems like that around the league last couple of years. And I don't want to fall prey to that. We got to get back and get out ahead of this thing. If you're going to have a really good season, you have to be really good at home, and that's there's no two ways about that.
How good was Trey Brown on Sunday?
He played really well. He did really well. He's played well. Really, most all of his chances. And I mean, I've said this a million times to you guys, but you go all the way back when he started before he got hurt. He was playing like a starter and should be out there on the field and all that. He's come back now that he's healthy and ready to go, and he's played very effectively. He's had huge plays for us, and so he did really well.
How did Jamal make it through the game?
He's really sore. Coming out of the game, and we kind of chuckled about it. It's a good sore, because that means he was out there and earned it. So he's really excited to be coming back again and playing again.
How's Damian Lewis?
He went through walkthrough today, so I think he's making a positive push forward here. We'll see what happens, but I don't know until we get through the week.
Still in the walkthrough too?
Yep.
We heard Gino take a lot of responsibility for the game. What is that, whether all those things he says are on him are or not, what does that do just with the team when he's kind of saying, hey, put that on me?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect illustration of leadership. That's exactly what guys should do. And if that's how they feel about it and they express it that way, the example that they display for other players is exceedingly valuable for us, so that you don't spend time trying to deny what just happened. You get after it and you figure it out, and you get right and get better for it. And I thought Gino did a perfect job of that.
With that, some of the mistakes that happened today, they were uncharacteristics in that regard. Does that give you the hope or confidence that it will be figured out, that it was
I'm
some?
not worried about it at all in that regard. Yeah, we had some protection issues that made it really hard on him, and there was just a combination of things. We had really. The play to DK last week was a funky play. This doesn't happen like that, and we have not practiced that happening. And so, and I don't know that you would, but that was one that got away from us. It's just stuff happens sometimes.
Was that the best game you saw out of Jackson so far?
Yes. Yeah, I thought by far. And I made a point about it, tried to make a point about it because I wanted him to hear it too, that he played really well in the running game. He was really clean with his assignments. We moved him around quite a bit. He came through on his catches and his plays. He did a really nice job in the game. And I think, this is 6 weeks right now, right? 6 weeks in the season coming up, and he's not wearing a cast anymore. He's not wearing anything on his arm and his hand anymore, wrist anymore. And he blocked well, threw his hands in there aggressively. I think any passing of judgment up until now, I think, was premature. He's just getting going, and we love him, and he's going to be a real big factor for us.
Was that maybe more of a bigger deal? I mean, kind of having that happen when it did the wrist injury?
Well, I'd like to see if you'd play, Bob. Let's put a couple pins in your wrist and see if you can type that thing like you do. Yeah, I think it's a significant thing, and I think he was perfect about handling it, and admirable, and took leadership in that in that regard early in the season to show guys that you can overcome and get back out and all that. And so the best is yet to come.
Pete, Draymond Jones, just how he's helping the run and everything else. What can you say about him?
Yeah, he's been active. He's been really active. He's had really powerful plays, in the running game, penetrating, getting in the backfield to start, some lost yardage plays. We saw a great pass rush from him last week. The week before, he had 2 or 3 rushes. I think he had a sack, but he also had 2 or 3 rushes where he was clean and started the process on our way to getting a sack. He's been contributing in a good way. Yeah, it's been fun to see him.
Smith and Jigba, you mentioned Monday that play he was open, that Gino didn't throw it to him. You've been waiting all game to set that play up. Is that alone, him knowing that alone, show him, you think that gives him confidence of where he is in the offense right now?
I really don't want to talk about that very much, but I don't know if it affects him in that regard.
Connor out for the Cardinals. It's running back by committee right now. What's the challenge when you know that you've got a number of different guys and styles?
It's James Conner is he's an iconic football player to me. I've loved the way he's played over the years. He's so physical and so tough, and not everybody's like that, or he would stand out like that. So I know we would miss a guy like that on our team. So you're going to miss him, but they have a good group, and they have a number of ways that they mix their looks and stuff and use a variety of guys. They have really fast receivers, and they use them accordingly, and they're in the backfield some, and they factor in. So they've got plenty of factors. It's different, though. James, he's a big-time player and contributor and all that. So they're just a little different.
Pete, on Andre Diggs, we know his ability to defend the pass, and it looked like last game that he was actually further down in terms of towards the line of scrimmage. Is that?
That's a good observation. He made some terrific tackles in really just past the line of scrimmage in the interior because of a couple of the calls. He was suited to be there, but he came out of the middle to make one that was a great one too. He just tackled marvelously in the game, and we're using him as examples all week long. It was our best tackling game all collectively, and he contributed in a big way. Safety's really, think about those guys all made good plays in the running game and in the passing game, making their hits.
Jamal had one where there were 2 players and he split the players and made the tackle.
On the screen, yeah. It was a great play, yeah. That's a play that guys with savvy and sense, they take their shot, and so instead of letting having to play off the blockers, he took it to the blockers and found a way to penetrate and get to the ball carrier. That's pretty characteristic of how he's played, that's the kind of player he is. And so it's great to see that it happened in this game back, and then he had the other great open field tackle in a crucial 3rd down situation as well. So, yeah.
Every week is such a learning experience for Devin as he moves forward and gets more experience. Maybe what stood out about the way he played on Sunday that was, different or just amplified based around how
the chances that he came through. He had a big win over the middle on Chase, and he just was in the right spots and did things well. Sometimes the opportunities just don't show. You can't do anything about it. But get hit in the back of the head with a ball. On great coverage on Chase again on a 3rd down. He's doing nothing really changed. It's just opportunities.
Back to
Didn't he knock the ball down on the pressure too? Did he bat the ball down?
Yeah.
I think he did,
Back to Boye Mafe. You were talking about him back in summer. Was it evident right when he got back to camp? Was it even before? When did you sense something was changing him?
Well, first off, I'm looking for that to happen. I'm asking the guys and getting around to him. It's interesting that even before we start practicing, the guys, they have already made a jump, and when they're in the midst of the first time around, it's kind of like they're in a fog of it all, and once they get away and they get a couple months out of football, they look back at their time, they see what they saw, they know what they know, and the obvious observation that they make is, I can't believe that I knew so little and played a whole football season compared to what I know now, you know, and so Moff was one of the guys that came back with a really clear, you know, kind of an excitement about him that, you know, I think this is going to be different this time around, you know, and Abe was the same way, Charles was the same way, you know, those guys, they were really clear about that. They were excited to come back because of what they now knew, you know, that they were capable of.
What needs to change, obviously besides just converting, but how do you get better on third down on offense?
Well, we did a little bit better on both sides of the ball this week, and I'm taking that little bit of improvement as a step in the right direction. It's like 2 or 3 plays a game. It's not like 15 plays. It's 2 or 3 plays a game that you have to win on that you're not winning on, and so you got to find your way. Part of it helps it really helps when the D&Ds are in your favor on both sides of the ball. You know, you don't have the long ones on O, and you have the shorter, and you have you know, longer on defense. It just helps you so much more. But I think we're going in the right direction. We felt it a couple weeks ago and didn't always show stat-wise, but this last week did. We're going to see if we're taking that step forward again.
With Kobe's toe, does he need a procedure or anything?
No. No, they've already done some stuff. Yeah, they've done some stuff to him. Not surgery, though.
Anything else?
Thank you.